welcome back to my channel. You're here with me, Kanai. Today's video, as you can tell from the intro, is kindly sponsored by healthjobs.co.uk, where people like me share advice to help people's career in healthcare. They list thousands of jobs and training courses on their website, so go and check it out if you haven't already. Appropriately, today's video is all about what are the job prospects for those of us who want to be a psychologist and or use our psychology degree after we graduate. What prospects are in line for us? I'm going to start off by talking about my story, my ideas behind what it would be like if I were to do a psychology degree and then come out and look for a job. So when I was looking for unis back in the day, back in like the mid 2010s, wow, retro, I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to do a psychology degree, geography degree, law degree. I was bouncing between a lot of things. I even wanted to be an engineer at one point, guys. I know I've never said that, but yeah, I eventually chose a psychology degree because of my passion for psychology, which should be obvious at this point. But at the time, I was so worried about my employability. I had heard so many things about how people who do psychology degrees don't really get anywhere. They don't use their degrees. They go into other areas of life because they just cannot become psychologists of any kind, or whatever jobs they do get is really low pay. They have the worst like starting salary as graduates. And then I go online and I would see the statistics saying, you know, yeah, somebody who graduates with an economics degree starts on 30k. USA are going to start on 2.5k. And it was just like, I don't think this is for me, because I want money, I want to eat, I want to survive. So it was very, very worrying for me. But I still went ahead and did this psychology degree. All these thoughts came back to me during my third year, end of second year, start of third year, because I was thinking, okay, what am I actually going to do when I graduate? I decided I was going to do a full-time master's degree because I just didn't want to face the reality of finding out the truth for myself. Am I employable? I didn't want to actually start applying for jobs and have this horror story come true of me just not being able to get a single job. It was running through my mind how, oh, maybe I really did choose a type of course that's just like, it's got so many soft skills and so little hard skills, and I'm just not employable. I'm never going to get a job, and that I'm never going to be able to become a psychologist of sorts. So I opted to do the master's I'm doing right now, full-time for a year. And then reality hit, a reality that I wasn't expecting. I graduated July 2020. Okay, of course, the whole COVID thing happened, which meant no actual ceremony. But my friends around me had different types of jobs lined up for them. Some of them did choose to end that psychology life, but it was because they wanted to, which statistics don't show you what people want versus what people don't want. A lot of people don't use their psychology degree, so to speak. They do in different transferable ways, but they don't use it to become psychologists or therapists, things like that, because they actually would rather go into marketing. They would actually rather go into human resources, you know? So I do have quite a lot of people from my course who have done that, and they're very happy in their new jobs, doing it up, independent, you know? And then I've got other friends like me who decided, you know what, I really want to try and become a psychologist, and they've been accepted for different types of jobs. And this was all happening while I was in my mind telling myself, Essie, you're not going to get a job. So it made me realize how fear had limited me from doing what I actually wanted to do, which was to have some kind of job lined up along with study. Hence, I am where I am today, doing my job and doing part-time study, master's course at King's College London. What was that experience like for me? What it actually took for me to get the support worker job I'm doing now. So I applied to so many jobs. I had a couple of interviews. I can't really remember exactly how many. It was getting to the last interview. I said yes via the Google invite that I will attend. After saying no previously, I changed it to yes. Why did I say no? Because I was giving up. I was like, I'm getting so many rejections. The reality that I feared is true. I am not employable. Maybe my other friends are on my course, but just not me. You know, it's just not happening for essay. So I was just, you know, in this whole woe is me mentality where I was like, yeah, I give up. I'm not gonna apply for these kind of support worker jobs anymore. And I specifically applied for support worker jobs at the time because I had experience as a bank support worker for around a year before that. Every time I'd come home from uni, I'd do a bank support worker role. And I felt like that would help my CV. But when I applied for a full-time position at the previous organization I was working at, I got a flat out rejection. And I was just like, if my own organization will not employ me, who will employ me? It was just, yeah, it wasn't a good time. However, within around 2-ish months or a month, I did manage to get a job. With this last job that I got an interview for, I did the interview. It was over the phone because of COVID. I came out of the interview thinking, okay, that went a lot better than the first couple of job interviews I've done. But I just don't believe that I've got the job because, you know, I am essay and essay gets rejected. I just had this very negative narrative in my head of what happens to me in my life. Anyway, heard back like a day or two later that I actually received the job. It was, I don't know, just completely flipped everything around 180. It completely challenged the beliefs I had in my head that psychology grads are unemployable, basically. Yes, they most definitely are, guys. It's not just me who has managed to come out with a job after my psychology degree, and one that I think will actually help me towards my goal. I do want to become some kind of psychologist in the future, preferably clinical psychologist. I feel like I am picking up all the skills I need, getting my foot in the door to get there. Yeah, there are so many jobs that you are employable for, you can do and you will enjoy with your psychology degree. You just need to go online and research. So how do I recommend you go about looking for a job? What jobs do you look for? What keywords do you use? So obviously the first one is support worker, because that's the job that I'm doing and it has a lot of transferable skills for a career in psychology. However, there's also healthcare assistant roles that you can look into as well. These tend to be like similar to support worker roles. You don't need a specific course to get a HCA role, but it may be a case where some of them require you having previous care assistant experience. Some don't. Some actually don't even specify that. So that's an advantage. And of course, you're working alongside relevant client groups and you're picking up different skills as well. The only downside I would say is that potentially personal care could be involved in what you do, but there are some roles, some healthcare assistant roles that I have previously had interviews for during uni that I never actually went for whatever reason, that did not involve personal care. So if you do your research properly and you actually look at the job descriptions, you will see you don't necessarily have to do personal care if you don't want to. There are also mental health support worker roles, which are obviously more specific to mental health, but obviously very similar to support worker role that I do as well. If you want to find out more about what it's like to be a support worker, go ahead and watch my previous video, The Reality of Being a Support Worker, where I outline some of the things that I have noticed in my job and what my experience is like. Another one that I researched about after being told that this even existed by someone is a therapy coordinator. So this one is quite good as well, because again, you don't need a specific course or qualification to be eligible to apply for a therapy coordinator role, but it's usually about just being able to assist in the delivery of one-to-one or group interventions with different populations. The main thing is about delivering some kind of activity for the client group. Teaching assistant roles can be quite good experience as well. You do not need to have a teacher's qualification to be a teaching assistant, so this is why I'd also recommend this option. This is particularly good if you look for teaching assistant roles in a SENS department of a school. I think that this one can give you certain rewards, let's say, that other jobs that I have mentioned, like support worker roles and so on, may not be able to give you. Usually if you're a teaching assistant, you may be able to work alongside other types of psychologists, so educational and clinical psychologists, whereas you may not have a close enough professional relationship with psychologists if you're a support worker. So for example, there are psychologists in the organization I work at, but it's a completely separate department. I don't see them, I've never met one, but they're there in general. Yeah, so those are some job ideas that I hope can get you guys thinking and brainstorming about what options you have in terms of employment and employability after you graduate from your psychology degree. I hope this video gives you guys a message that you do not need to be afraid about whether or not you're actually employable. Maybe you've never admitted it to yourself that you're worried, like me. But yeah, I hope this video just kind of gets rid of that worry or concern that you may not have enough specific skills for any job out there. That's not necessarily true. It's usually a sweeping generalization or a sweeping statement a lot of people say, and kind of a little bit irrelevant. But another thing I want to add is just like, in general, don't let the way people talk about psychology degrees and, you know, your prospects after that get to your head. A lot of the time, these are people who do not know the ins and outs of the journey to a career in psychology, or other similar, you know, professions. It feels like the psychology community is a bubble, and that's why I'm so happy when I see like new people hopping onto social media to share their journeys, especially on Instagram. It's a lot more like, the psychology community is bigger on Instagram than YouTube. But I think it's really good because there are a lot of people, even, you know, those of you who may be med students watching my videos out of curiosity, or, you know, you're doing something else. You don't want to be a psychologist, but you're just watching videos about psychology. I think it's really good to spread awareness about it, because for us, getting into a career in psychology isn't clear cut. There aren't specific job roles out there for us, so it's kind of hard to understand exactly what kind of roles to look for out there. So yeah, once again, I do recommend you guys check out Health Jobs if you're about to embark on job hunting, or you just want to know, you know, what kind of jobs you will be eligible for as soon as you graduate. It's a good place to start. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Of course, if you liked it, don't forget to press the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that the next time I make a new video, you get to know, you get the qualification of being my subscriber. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.